Have you ever looked at a man, really looked at him and wondered what actually makes him lose control? Not just what turns him on, but what makes him melt, what makes his entire body and mind surrender completely. Because here's the secret hardly anyone talks about. 97% of men don't reach that deep, soul-shaking pleasure from the physical act alone. No, it's not the moves, it's not the technique, it's not even what you think he wants. It's something deeper, something emotional. Men might act like they're driven by what they see, but what truly captures them, what makes them crave you endlessly, is when they feel an emotional connection that's raw, real, and electric. It's the way you look at him with quiet confidence. The way your energy says, I see you, I feel you. You don't have to pretend. That single moment when your presence tells him he can finally let go of control. That's when he experiences pleasure on a level he can't even explain. Men may not admit it, but what they want more than anything is to feel safe enough to be completely themselves. They want to feel admired, desired, and accepted, not just for what they do, but for who they are beneath the surface. That's the secret. That's what 97% of men orgasm from, the deep emotional synchronization that tells them they're wanted, valued, and understood. And when a woman knows how to create that emotional connection, when she learns how to connect with his mind and his soul, not just his body, she becomes unforgettable. She becomes the woman he can't stop thinking about, the woman every other experience gets compared to. So stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to reveal 5 powerful secrets that every woman should know, the exact emotional triggers that make a man crave you, chase you, and feel completely alive in your presence. Once you understand this, you'll never need to ask, what do men really want? Again, you'll become the answer. If you're ready to unlock the real reason men lose control, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Here's something most people completely misunderstand about men. They may look confident, logical, and sometimes even emotionally detached, but deep down, what every man truly craves is emotional synchrony. That's when he feels completely in tune with you. When your energy, your tone, and your presence align so perfectly with his that he forgets where he ends and you begin. See, men are often taught to focus on performance, to do things right, to please, to impress, to deliver. But that constant need to perform makes them disconnected from the very thing that creates true pleasure, presence. When a woman brings that presence into the moment, when she's not just going through the motions, but genuinely feeling every second, it changes everything for him. He feels it instantly, because for men, there's nothing more intoxicating than a woman who's fully there. It's not about what you say, it's about the way you make him feel seen. And when you look into his eyes and hold that gaze just a moment longer, when your voice softens as if you're letting him in emotionally, that's when he stops thinking and starts feeling. He senses that you're not performing, you're connecting. That connection hits him on a level most men never experience. It's the kind of energy that makes him open up in ways he doesn't even understand. Suddenly, he's not focused on what comes next. He's not in his head, he's in his body, he's present with you. And that's where the magic happens, because when a man feels emotionally synchronized with a woman, his entire nervous system relaxes, his guard drops, his breathing slows, his mind stops racing with expectations. He stops trying to get it right and starts surrendering to the moment. And when that happens, his pleasure deepens tenfold. Think about it. We often assume men are wired only for physical connection, but in truth, their deepest satisfaction happens when their emotional rhythm matches yours. When your energy says, oh, I'm here, I feel you, I want this moment, not the idea of it. That's when a man feels safe enough to let go, to trust, to feel everything. And the best part, you don't have to try to make this happen. Emotional synchrony isn't about effort, it's about presence. It's when you stop overthinking and just let your energy speak. When you're playful, curious, and emotionally available, he feels drawn in. When you listen with your eyes, touch with intention, and respond with genuine warmth, he starts mirroring that same energy back to you. Men rarely experience that kind of authenticity, and when they do, they become addicted to it. That's why so many men remember that one woman who made them feel a connection they couldn't explain. It wasn't because she looked perfect or said the right words. It was because she matched his emotional rhythm. That's the first secret behind the 97%. Men crave the feeling of emotional harmony more than physical satisfaction. They want to feel understood without words, to sense that you're right there with them, not trying to lead, not trying to perform, just being. So if you want to truly captivate a man, don't focus on what you're doing. Focus on how you're being. Let him feel your calm. Let him feel your curiosity. Let him sense your emotional openness. Because when your energy syncs with his, that's when he feels something he can't get anywhere else, something that goes beyond pleasure and into pure connection. That's emotional synchrony. And once he feels it, he'll never forget it. Every man, no matter how confident, powerful, or emotionally strong he appears, has one hidden weakness that most women completely overlook. He wants to feel admired. Not for what he buys, not for what he owns, but for who he is when he's with you. That craving for admiration runs deep. And when a woman understands how to tap into it authentically, she unlocks a part of a man that very few people ever reach. See, from a young age, men are wired to earn love and validation. They grow up believing that they have to prove themselves, to win, to achieve, to perform in order to deserve affection. So when a woman genuinely admires him, not because he did something impressive, but because she sees his effort, his intention, his presence, it goes straight to his heart. It tells him, you don't have to prove anything to me. I already see your value. That single message is like emotional oxygen for him. It gives him permission to relax, to open up, to trust. And when he feels that level of emotional acceptance, he doesn't just feel desire, he feels devotion. The beauty of admiration is that it's subtle but incredibly powerful. It's in the way you notice him. The way you acknowledge the small things he does without him having to point them out. Maybe it's how he always makes you laugh when you're stressed, or how he pays attention to details most people miss, or how his presence feels calming and protective when you're near him. When you express genuine admiration for these things, it makes him feel alive. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Admiration activates a man's emotional chemistry. It awakens the part of his brain that associates pleasure with connection. Suddenly, it's not about the act itself, it's about the experience of being seen. The more he feels admired by you, the more his desire becomes emotionally anchored. That's when you stop being someone he wants for the moment and start being someone he can't stop thinking about. But there's an art to this. Real admiration isn't about flattery. It's not about saying what you think he wants to hear. Men can sense the difference between genuine energy and surface level praise. Authentic admiration comes from observation. It's when you notice things others overlook. For example, you might say, I love how focused you get when you talk about something you care about. Or, I noticed how calm you stay even when things get intense. That's really attractive. See what's happening there. You're not complimenting what he's doing. You're admiring who he is. That kind of appreciation makes a man feel deeply connected to you because it speaks directly to his emotional core. And once a man feels admired on that level, something shifts inside him. His walls come down. He starts opening up emotionally because admiration makes him feel safe. It makes him feel like he doesn't have to hide behind confidence or performance anymore. He can just be himself and still be desired. That's the secret most women miss. Physical attraction might get his attention, but emotional admiration keeps his heart. When a man feels seen for his inner world, for his efforts, his quiet strength, his intentions, his entire definition of pleasure changes. He no longer seeks validation through the physical, he seeks it through emotional connection. And when that connection is tied to admiration, it becomes his biggest weakness, because once he feels it, he never wants to lose it. So if you want to make a man crave you on a level that goes beyond touch, admire him with intention, not for what he does for you, but for the man he is around you. Because the woman who makes a man feel admired becomes the woman he never forgets. If emotional synchrony and admiration are the foundation of a man's deepest pleasure, then anticipation is the spark that lights the fire. And here's the fascinating truth. Men might look like they want everything fast, direct, and instant, but what really drives them wild is the wait. It's the build-up, the slow, teasing, psychological dance that happens before anything even begins. See, anticipation is what turns a simple moment into something electric. It's not about what's happening, but about what could happen. It's the energy that lives between two people, the glances, the pauses, the silences that feel louder than words. That tension isn't an accident. It's chemistry being built intentionally. And the woman who knows how to create it, she becomes unforgettable. Most women rush. They want to give, to please, to make sure everything feels right. But men, even if they don't say it, love when a woman slows everything down. Because when you take your time, when you make him wait, you're actually telling him something powerful. I'm in control of this energy. You're not desperate, you're deliberate. And that shift changes everything. Men are visual, yes, but they're also psychological. When you master anticipation, you're not just teasing his body, you're teasing his mind. That's where real desire lies, because when a man's mind is engaged, when he's imagining, wondering, picturing, you've already captured him before anything even happens. Think of anticipation like music. You don't rush to the chorus. You let the rhythm build. You feel the beat rise. You let the silence between notes create meaning. That's how you build tension. Maybe it's the way you look at him without saying a word, the way your tone drops just slightly when you speak his name, or that small knowing smile that says, you don't even know what's coming next. It's not manipulation. It's emotional art. Because anticipation isn't about withholding, it's about heightening. It's about making every moment matter. Every second feels like a story unfolding in real time. And that's what men crave more than anything, an experience that feels alive. When a man feels that build up, he doesn't just desire you, he becomes emotionally invested in the moment. His brain starts releasing dopamine, the same chemical linked to motivation and excitement. That's why anticipation makes everything feel more intense. It's not about the act itself, it's about the journey toward it. But here's where most people go wrong. They think anticipation means playing games. It doesn't. Real anticipation is about energy control. It's about letting your desire breathe. When you're with him, don't rush the moments of connection. Hold them. Let the silence linger. Let your eyes speak before your words do. When you pause just long enough for him to wonder what you're thinking, you create a magnetic pull that keeps him chasing your energy. And that's the key. Men fall for the chase of emotion, not just the chase of touch. When a man feels that delicious uncertainty, that sense of she's right here, but she's not rushing, she's savoring this, it heightens his entire experience. His desire builds, his attention sharpens, and suddenly he's locked in. That's why 97% of men reach their deepest level of pleasure, not from what's happening physically, but from what's been building emotionally. The anticipation you create becomes the bridge between the mind and the body. It turns chemistry into connection. So the next time you're with a man, remember this: don't rush the spark. Let the silence tease. Let the glance linger. Let your energy whisper. You can't rush what's worth feeling, because anticipation isn't about withholding pleasure. It's about making him feel every single second leading up to it. And once he feels that, he'll never forget you, because you didn't just touch his body, you played his mind like a symphony. Here's a truth that most women underestimate. Men crave emotional safety just as much as women do. They just rarely admit it. In fact, for most men, it's the one thing that allows them to fully let go. You see, a man might look strong, confident, and even a little guarded on the outside, but inside, he carries the same fears, insecurities, and need for acceptance that everyone else does. The difference is society teaches him to hide it, to always appear composed, in control, and unshaken. But when he's with a woman who makes him feel safe enough to drop that mask, that's when everything changes. Emotional safety is the invisible ingredient that transforms pleasure into connection. When a man feels judged, pressured, or compared, he retreats into his head. He becomes cautious, distant, and emotionally disconnected. But when he feels accepted, when he senses that you're not evaluating him, but experiencing him, his guard falls away, his energy softens, his emotions awaken. That's when he starts feeling you, not just physically, but emotionally. And that right there is what takes him to that 97% level of deep, consuming satisfaction. See, for most men, the fear of failure runs deep. Whether it's about performance, emotional expression, or simply being enough, they carry a quiet anxiety that they can't always name. When you create a space where he feels like he doesn't have to prove anything, when your energy tells him you don't have to be perfect here, just be real, he exhales. That's when he finally relaxes into you. And here's what's beautiful about that. The moment a man feels emotionally safe, his vulnerability becomes his strength. He opens up, he lets you in, he allows himself to feel pleasure without fear or hesitation. Because for a man, emotional safety isn't just about comfort, it's about freedom. The freedom to express, to explore, to experience intimacy without the weight of expectation. So how do you create that kind of safety? It starts with energy. It's the tone in your voice when you talk to him. calm, curious, and accepting. It's the way you listen, not waiting to respond, but really hearing him. It's the way you respond when he opens up, no matter how small the vulnerability is. When you say things like, "I love that you told me that," or "That makes sense, I get it," you're reinforcing that his honesty is welcome, not judged. Small gestures build emotional safety more than grand ones. When you smile at him after he admits something he's unsure about, when you touch his hand reassuringly, when you show warmth instead of criticism, you teach him that with you, he can drop the armor. And when that armor falls, what takes its place is trust. And trust, for a man, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. It's what allows him to be completely present. When he feels safe with you, he's no longer performing. He's connecting. He's not holding back. He's surrendering. That's when the emotional connection becomes so powerful, it transcends the physical. Because true pleasure for men comes from being seen and accepted, not just touched. That's the secret so few people understand. Men may crave passion, but they surrender only to peace. When your presence feels like home, when he knows he can show up imperfectly and still be adored, his entire experience transforms. His pleasure becomes deeper, longer lasting, and more emotional than he's ever known. So if you want to connect with a man on a level he's never felt before, don't try to be perfect. Be safe. Be soft. Be present. Let your energy tell him, "You don't have to earn me. I already see you." Because once a man feels emotionally safe with you, he won't just desire you. He'll trust you with the parts of himself no one else gets to see. And that kind of connection, that's what makes him stay long after the moment fades. There's one thing that can completely change the way a man experiences intimacy, something far deeper than any physical act. It's called emotional safety. When a man feels emotionally safe with you, it's like you've unlocked a secret door that most people never even get close to. It's not about what you do in bed, it's about how you make him feel outside of it. You see, men are taught all their lives to be strong, stoic, and unshakable. They're told to hide their feelings, bury their fears, and act like they've got it all figured out. But behind that armor, every man carries insecurities, doubts, and quiet anxieties that he rarely shares, not even with his closest friends. So when he finds a woman who makes him feel safe enough to take off that armor, that's when the real magic happens. Emotional safety is the feeling that he can be completely himself around you, imperfect, uncertain, even vulnerable, without fear of being judged, rejected, or laughed at. It's knowing that he can share his truth and you'll listen, not attack, that he can have a bad day and you won't see him as weak, that he can open up about something painful from his past and instead of pulling away, you'll lean closer. And here's what most women don't realize. When a man feels emotionally safe, his desire for you intensifies. It's not just attraction anymore. It's devotion. He starts craving your presence because you represent peace in a world that constantly pressures him to perform. You become his emotional refuge, the one place he doesn't have to pretend. And when that happens, he doesn't just want you, he needs you. So how do you create that kind of safety? It's in the little things, your tone when he's quiet, the softness in your response when he admits he's wrong, the calmness when he's frustrated, the way you validate instead of criticize. It's in saying, "I understand," instead of "you should have known better." It's in letting him breathe instead of forcing him to talk before he's ready. You don't have to fix his problems or rescue him. You just have to make him feel seen, respected, and emotionally held. When you do that, he'll begin to trust you with the parts of himself he's never shown anyone before. And that level of trust, it builds a bond stronger than any physical connection ever could. Because here's the truth, physical attraction might draw him in, but emotional safety keeps him there. You can be beautiful, charming, even seductive. But if he feels judged, manipulated, or dismissed, he'll slowly start to pull away. Yet if he feels that deep safety with you, that he can be raw and real, he'll invest himself completely. That's when you stop being just a woman he's dating and become the woman he never wants to lose. So the next time he opens up, even a little pause. Don't rush to respond. Just listen. Let him feel that it's safe to be honest. That one moment can do more for your intimacy than any grand romantic gesture ever could. Because when a man feels emotionally safe, he doesn't just give you his body, he gives you his soul. If you've ever noticed a man open up to you in a rare, vulnerable moment, What did you do that made him feel safe? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience could inspire someone else to build that same deep emotional bond. When it comes down to it, real connection isn't built on how perfect you look or how many rules you follow. It's built on how you make him feel. Desire fades when there's pressure, judgment, or confusion, but it grows wild and unstoppable when there's trust, understanding, and emotional safety. The techniques we've talked about today aren't just ways to attract a man, they're ways to connect with his heart. Because when you combine mystery with empathy, confidence with kindness, and playfulness with emotional safety, you become unforgettable. You become that one woman who's not just desired, but deeply valued. The woman he feels seen by, the woman he doesn't just crave for a night, but for a lifetime. So the next time you're with him, slow down. Notice the small details. Listen to his silences, touch with intention, speak with warmth, love with awareness. These moments are where true intimacy begins, not in perfection, but in presence. If this message spoke to you, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss what's next. Every week, we dive deeper into the secrets of attraction, connection, and lasting passion, because love isn't a game, it's an art. And remember, the most irresistible thing you can ever be is authentic. Tell me in the comments which part of today's video resonated with you the most. Your story might just be the reminder someone else needs.